Our next discussion topic lies on a particular function called lookup. Now, in the context of Excel, there are two lookup functions. Essentially, what lookup means is that you're looking at data in some table, and then you're taking that data and posting it elsewhere, right? So, for example, here, we're going to look at this highlighted data here in the tax table, which is a vertical table here, and we're going to put in the data here based on what is the salary of all these individuals who are there. So there are a set of employees in a firm working in certain departments with a certain salary level. What is the tax rate that is going to work on these salaries is given here. So if the salary is up to 5,000, the tax rate is 1%. If it is up to 15,000, tax rate is 3%. Up to 25,000, 5%. 25 to 35 is 6. 35 to 45 is 7, and so on and so forth, right? Based on the salary that these guys have, we have to calculate the tax rate and put that here, right? So one way is obviously to sit and do it manually. The second way is what VLOOKUP allows us to do, right? It's called VLOOKUP because we are looking vertically in a table like this. There's also a variant of this called HLOOKUP, which looks at a table similar to this, but that table is arranged horizontally, right? The highlighted one shows that. So let's look at VLOOKUP first and then understand how we look at these data points, right? So what we are going to do is VLOOKUP essentially starts looking up at a data. So it will look for this data, look for this data. Where will it look at this data? It will look at this data in this table, right? So where is here? It'll search for 41,000. Technically 41,000 should fall somewhere in between 35 and 45. That's why it's called an approximate lookup that we're looking at. So it should return the tax rate that is corresponding to those numbers, right? So that's what the VLOOKUP function does. When we look at the data set, we will realize what is going to be the lookup function that we are using there, right? So let's put in the parameters for the VLOOKUP function. So we put an equals to, we select VLOOKUP, open bracket, and then we essentially select this. So lookup value, what is the lookup value? Lookup value is the value which we are looking for. So that's 41,639. Where are we looking up for the value? Is table array. That's my table array, right? I'm looking for this data in F5 to G15, the tax table. Now, by definition, in the table that you're looking up, your column numbers are denoted as this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, if there is another one, third, fourth. So it'll ask for that you're looking up for the value in the first column, but which value do you want to retrieve? In this case, we want to retrieve the tax data, so we want to retrieve the value in column 2, right? So column index number tells me where am I going to get the data from, right? So lookup looks for a value in the leftmost column of the table and then returns a value in the same row from a column you specify. So the table must be by default sorted in ascending order. Click on 2. That's what we want. We want the data to be returned from where it is coming from, here. And then the final set, which is range lookup, is a logical value. If you put a 1 here, it will give you the closest match. If you put a 0 here or put a false here, it will give you an exact match. So because we want an approximate match, it is in between the numbers that we are looking at, we will put a 1 here, and even if we omit, it'll say kind of 1, it'll assume it to be 1. Click OK. What do we see? We see 6% coming here, which is the value that is available between 35 and 45. The rate of tax applied is 6%. That's what we get here, right? So that's the rate of tax that's going to come. Now let's drag it downwards. When you drag it downwards, it gives 8%, which is between 55 and 65. The rate is 8%. Now the challenge with this, however, is that you will note, so let's actually redo this entire thing once again. We will close this and let's put up a VLOOKUP, and we are looking up for this value. Where are we looking it up for? We are looking in this table. We are looking at column 2 and I'm looking at approximate match, right? So it gives me a 6% here. Now when I drag it downwards, the problem it does is it changes the lookup value a little bit. The table moves one further down, right? Because Excel drags that formula down. So you see now doesn't start at 0, it goes beyond 0, right? And similarly, if I drag it further, the table would go down